F- Felipe, you gonna stream everywhere?
Yeah,
Like YouTube, Facebook, live thing.
yeah, and record as well.
Okay, okay.
So we are on air, my friends. Welcome to the Cosmotalks number 3 with our top class interview. Oh, 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 oh. Wait. Hey guys, are you there?
Hello.
Yes. Hello, I'm here.
Welcome to the
Okay.
Cosmotalks number 3 with the producer Deep Filip from Netherlands.
There we go.
Hi, guys. Good to be here.
Are you directly from Holland at the moment, my friend?
Yes, Rotterdam.
Rotterdam. Wow. That Holland is the land of the big trance DJs, right? Like Armin van Buuren and who else?
Yes, and Tiesto. Yes,
Tiesto.
for sure. Yeah, I think for a small country like we are doing really good and have been doing really good since I guess the 90s in the electronic music scene. So definitely very, very blessed to be living here. Also, all the festivals we have and all the world class DJs who come here every year for Amsterdam Dance Event, of course, that happens in autumn. So very, very grateful for the scene.
Yeah, you are in the middle of a big epicenter of music there, right?
Yes, for sure. And of course, we also have Germany, our neighbors, and I mean, many countries in Europe that have an amazing scene. So, and Europe is very small. So you can fly. I mean, not now maybe during the crisis, but you can get like from the north to the southern parts with the plane. I think in 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah, well, Don Mezcal is a European boy as well, right, my friend?
Yeah, I used to live in France, but it's been a long time now that I live in Canada, almost like 15 years. So let's start the talks. Can you describe a bit more about you, Philip, the history, when you start to make music, like your cultural background, like talk about you a bit.
All right. So yeah, music has always been part of my life. My parents, I mean, I've grown up with music, all types of music, from jazz to rock. Yeah, we've been always listening to a lot of music, and during my adolescence, when I grew up, I started discovering artist genres, hip hop, and then at some point, electronic music. In 2010, I went to my first electronic music festival, and I was completely sold from that day to the I think it was like a techno festival. So and in that time, techno tech house was very popular. And yeah, then in 2012, I bought a DJ controller, and for a couple of years, I was making podcasts at home and just recording. And sometimes friends came over, and we were making some music, chilling. And then 3 years ago in 2017, I started to get professional gigs, and that was not the path that I expected, because I graduated in economic and consumer psychology in 2013. So actually, I was, my professional career was developing based on that background,
Mhm.
and I couldn't really find the right things that I wanted to do there. So in 2017, I also wanted to start my own private practice, and I did. And at the same time, my DJing got like really successful. Like one of my first gig was in Paris, actually, also. And then I got invited into some amazing festivals in the Netherlands. I've been invited to play in Tunisia in that year, Amsterdam Dance Event. So that's when actually life was showing me that music was an important path for me to take in my life. And in 2018, I started to try out a bit with production. And I got a collaboration with my good friend and very talented DJ producer Menka. We got a release on a VA on a Swiss label, Jet, a down tempo track. And yes, since then, actually, my production journey started. For the first year, I wasn't that serious about it. From now, from
Only
time to
two
time,
years
I
of
would.
producing. Quite
Was that?
impressive. It's been only
Yes,
2 years that you get in the production.
yes, and actually, only since a year I got more serious because in April 2019, so a year ago, Trippin Jaguar, another producer, um, he invited me to share a studio with him in Rotterdam because they build new music studios, and yeah, he was looking for somebody to share it with, and we've been friends for a while, and he asked me to join him in the studio, and I thought it was a great opportunity for me to get more into production and have like the environment also that is suitable for production, the acoustics, etc. So actually, only since a year, I have the studio 2 times per week on average. So that's the time that I spent on music production, on sound design, and also, of course, sometimes at home because sometimes I wake up in the morning and I have this melody in my mind, and I know, okay, I first thing I need to do is get on my laptop and start producing, even if it's like for 1 or 2 hours to get my idea out. And then when I get to the music studio, then I can work on it in a more professional environment.
Hey, Philip, I have a question for you. First, how is the scene in Rotterdam? I've never, like, I know the city, but haven't been there. I know that it exists and everything, but how is the scene over there? Is it big, small? It's very well connected, I guess.
Yeah, so the scene in Rotterdam, let me say it like that. Amsterdam is really the place to be for a broad variety of electronic music. They have also a lot of clubs, and most of the festivals are also in and around Amsterdam. Rotterdam, we have a scene also, but in my opinion, it's been stagnating a bit in the last years. It's been not really innovating. Like for example, the down tempo scene. Let's say the what I call the spiritual down tempo.
Uh
What
huh.
also you guys release on Cosmovision Records. That's something that's started becoming popular in Amsterdam in, yeah, let's say 3 years ago. But in Rotterdam, it's still more the techno and the tech house scene, and there are also some deep house parties. And actually, yeah, I told you about the studio that I started sharing last year, and in that space we also have a couple of other music studios. So there are more producers, and with a couple of producers there, we started to give our own parties in Rotterdam since November last year. So we have done two so far. Obviously, with this crisis right now, unfortunately, we had to cancel two events, or not cancel, but postpone them. So with this, we are starting to introduce also the other parts of the electronic music scene, not only the spiritual down tempo, but also maybe more melodic stuff, and just like exploring the let's say outskirt of the electronic music scene. And we have also one place in Rotterdam. It's in an industrial area where they are using whatever they can, creative people, to build amazing parties. And since 2 or 3 years, they are also starting to organize electronic music parties there that are also involving other things like other arts. They have like amazing like sculptures and things like that. So it's growing, and we are definitely getting more influence with alternative electronic music here.
Hey, Philip, I have another question for you. That's really cool that your scene is growing over there in Rotterdam. Like the more scenes we have, the better it's for all of us, right? And
Yes.
I have a question for you regarding your SoundCloud, because I was checking out all of your stuff there, and it's huge, man. You have tons of plays, tons of DJ sets, like I don't know, like 100 DJ sets, tons of comments. I saw that you've made like tons of comments to a lot of people, and I was gonna ask you like, what's your trick? How do you get all this attention? Like it's that's something great, you know. And I'm sure that a lot of artists are interested in how you did it, how you share your music, how you connect with other artists. What's the trick
Secret.
you have?
Yes, a great question. Thank you. So before I got these first professional gigs in 2017, the years before that, let's say from 2012 actually, when I bought my first DJ controller, or maybe even 2010 when I discovered the electronic music scene, I started to just listen a lot and get to know. First it was the techno, and then tech house, and then deep house and progressive house. So I started to learn like what are the different genres, who are the big artists. And yeah, back then I was also working from home. I was working for a software startup, so I could listen to DJ sets on SoundCloud basically all day, apart from when I had meetings, and yeah, just listen and get to know what music there is. And yeah, I was talking a lot, commenting, sending people messages, also to artists. For example, I love discovering small artists who didn't even have 100 followers on SoundCloud, but who are releasing productions. And then, I was sending them messages like saying, can I have maybe a promo of your track? They didn't even sign their tracks. They never released. So I was just always very, very interactive, and I just love talking with people. Also, during my DJ sets, for example, I love it when people come to me, and sometimes people come to me and they tell me like, yeah, and I was hesitating to come talk to you because you probably have tens of people coming to you who want to talk to you, and I didn't know if you wanted to talk to me. And I'm like, no, man, I'm so happy that you came. I really love talking with you. Yeah, and I love to show people that we are all creative beings. We all have gifts, and I'm not the one who's creating the party. We are doing it together, and we are all part of it. So, also on SoundCloud, it helped me a lot to comment a lot, listen a lot, send a lot of messages to artists, and that definitely helped me a lot in the beginning to get these gigs, these what I would also call big gigs. In the last 1 or 2 years, I've seen the scene on social media. It has changed a lot. The algorithms also on Facebook, Instagram, they have unfortunately started favoring more paid promotion, and also on SoundCloud there are channels who are reposting if you pay them, and there are also channels who form these communities that they make like 10 or 20 reposts a day, and they repost each other, etc. So it's way more difficult now than even 1 or 2 years ago to get the amount of plays and the amount of interaction, because people just get overwhelmed with with
Yeah.
with the materials. So that's why also one of the reasons I decided to also focus a lot on the content that I put out there. And still, I find it very important for myself personally, because that's how I am, to talk with people. So to respond to my messages, to emails, to questions people have. And at the same time, I really want to become a better music producer, and to to be really focused on the content as well. So yeah, I hope that answers your questions a bit.
Of course, very, very complete answer. And we could talk now a bit more about your release in Cosmo, right? Don Mescal, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So the next question is about the EP you released with us, who is called Ashtar. I would like you to introduce a bit more your EP, where it's come from, the concept, who is Ashtar, who is the name of the prince of the cosmos, is really interesting. I would like you to develop a bit more and talk about your process to create this music, which sounds a bit like 80s with a lot of synths and like
Hmm.
crazy sounds. So yeah, talk about
Yes.
a bit about this.
All right. So um, maybe I could tell a bit about my interests. So I study psychology. I'm very interested in the human psyche. Where are we coming from? Why do we behave in the way we behave? How are we being influenced by the media, by brands, in relationships, etc.? And psychology for me tells a lot about the human being, but I personally believe that we as human beings have a soul, a spirit, and that's why for me, when I go beyond psychology, go into, let's say, spirituality, and dive into questions like also what is the universe, and are we alone or not in the universe, or do we have other like galactic, let's say, families? So these are my interests that have made me to in the last years, because I wanted to get to know myself better. And in psychology I felt that I stumbled upon certain limits. I've been facing in my life depressions, anxieties. I've been abusing substances. I've been also in psychotherapy myself for almost 3 years. So I always want to continuously get to know myself better, because I found out that when I get to know myself better, I can also inspire other people to be better people and to get to know themselves better. And that's something that's next to music a big passion of mine, to be able to inspire others so that they find the best in themselves, and that can be whatever the definition is for you. It can be have a successful career, it can be a successful father or mother, it can be being successful in the community, whatever it is. Success is a subjective term. And so yeah, that's another very big passion of mine. And then yeah, coming to Ashtar and Bashar. So in my search in the last 2 3 years, I've been finding out about um, let's say other civilizations beyond the earth. And there are Bashar and Ashtar. They are both entities that inspire me. And how I got to know them is because I don't know if you're aware of this concept. It's called channeling, and what it means is that a channeler, it's a person who channels a certain energy, and that can be, for example, if you believe in this, of course,
Yeah.
that can be a deceased a grandparent, for example, that some, or a parent that some people want to get some answers, for example. But it can also be that they channel some entity that is not from this world and hasn't been on this world. And these entities, the reason also why I find it so interesting is because they are sharing for me a lot of interesting information that helps me personally to understand myself on a deeper level. And they are sharing very positive messages also for me personally, but also for humanity, and for the future of humanity, which helps me also, again, for example, in crisis like we are facing right now, to also have like a positive vision for the future. And yeah, I got inspired by these, let's say, entities. And when I created these tracks, basically my production process is that there are no rules. I create whatever I feel like creating. Like, I don't want to define myself that I am a deep house producer or a down tempo producer or whatever. I just want to create whatever flow I am into. And I also believe that as artists we tap into something, whatever you want to call it, whether it's an energy or something that is not necessarily ours, but some kind of energy that we tap into, and that gets us in this flow, and that helps us to come up with certain ideas. So yeah, with Bashar and Ashtar, I started creating these tracks like approximately a year ago. and in both of them I am using vocals. So in Bashar I
Who
am
is the
using
vocals? Where you find the vocals?
yeah, so Bashar, it's actually it's very much processed. I've been doing like reversing and like picking up short parts from a Celtic or a Gothic Celtic song that I was inspired by. Um, and Ashtar is actually I don't know if you heard of this method. It's called a Silva method, and it's a certain type of meditation method that has been invented by Jose Carlos Silva, I think in the 70s or 80s, and it is a method to help you. Yeah, it's basically one form of meditation,
Mhm.
and there is some yeah, there are many speakers who speak out as yeah, like guided meditation, and I've chosen certain phrases that really resonated with me, that are very positive for me, and that I found very much in line with the, let's say, the melodic elements and the vibe of the track. That yeah, I also again processed it in my own way and included it in the track. So and yeah, both of the tracks have a very happy vibe. It was yeah, I guess on these moments I had a very happy creative yeah, vibe
Yeah.
to do something. And
That's really
It's two
cool.
amazing
yeah,
tracks. It's super groovy. They have the 80s feeling with the synths. It's super dance floor. They have kind of Indian elements. It's really like kind of really different that when you used to listen down tempo, sometimes it's feel a bit the same. This is two really original tracks. So we're really happy that and a bit surprised when you contact us to release the EP with Cosmovision because we are like a fresh new label and you was more established name. So I was kind of surprised. And this is a question I want to ask you as well. Why you pick us to release your first down tempo EP?
Wait, I want to ask
yeah,
something first. Before you go there, I wanted to ask about your remixers as well. Like something brief about them because they are really good.
yes,
Like the oddness and really nice. What do you? How did you get them? Are your friends?
yes, yes. So about the remixes first, let me tell you about Jos Martin. Jose Martin, I discovered a remix of him a couple of years ago, and I really loved it. So I sent him a message. We started talking, and then in the summer of 2018, he was doing a tour in Europe because he's from Mexico. He was doing a tour in Europe, and yeah, we started talking, and I was thinking of yeah, maybe I can help him to find something in the Netherlands to play here, and so I was able to connect him with some friends of mine who were hosting a stage at an amazing festival, Wildeburg, and yeah, he was able to play there. We met there. We already connected very well in the, let's say, virtual environment, but then it was confirmed in person that we had a very good connection, and also his music. And then I did a South America tour at the end of
Yoo-hoo.
2018, beginning of 2019. Yes, I went to Mexico also, and he invited me also to stay over there and to stay at his house. He's been an amazing guest, also very talented in many fields, a talented photographer, a talented cook, and a talented
Cool.
musician. So I knew immediately the first remixer that I wanted to ask was Kos, and he said yes, so I was extremely happy about it. And then the oddness, yeah, I discovered him. I think not so long ago, maybe a year ago. I saw maybe a remix of him, and then some original production. And every time
Yeah.
I saw and listened to remixes and productions of him, I was like, man, this is
He's
so
awesome.
good. He's
Yeah.
amazing. And I started playing in my sets and also during my gigs. And then I was like, okay, let me ask him if he would like to do a remix. So we started talking, and he was very positive. He sent me the remix like also very quickly, and I was
It's
like, oh my
fast.
god, it's amazing. Yeah, and both of them have done such an incredible job, because they are so different from the original tracks, and I love that. I love that also when I work on remixes, to just do something that you recognize the original track, but it's completely different. So I'm super grateful that that they said yes, and that they've come up with this amazing remixes. So yeah, that's the story behind the remixes. And then in regards of Cosmovision Records, so
Cool.
um, let me start also by telling that for me, whether it's in my personal life, with friendships, or with productions, with music, for me, what I find important are certain values that mm, show me a certain intention, and show me the value of the person. And therefore, for example, for me, I prefer quality over quantity. So if, at my DJ gigs, I prefer to have 10 people that are completely going insane, dancing their socks off, and are super happy, super good vibe. Then that I have like 1,000 people that, are just standing there talking, etc. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate all the 1,000 people who come to see me. But just to give you an idea that for me personally, this connection, this bond that gives something more, that gives me memories that are very personal. That's just something that I value a lot. And with Cosmovision Records, it started that I think last year I sent you guys an email, like it was on a Bandcamp release. I wanted to buy one or two tracks, and I could only buy the whole album.
Oh
So I
yes. I
yes, and
remember
I think
that.
I was traveling there, and I didn't have good internet connection. So I sent you a message like, I only need the two tracks. Can I just, buy the two tracks and not the whole album, because my internet is not good? And you guys sent me like a very nice response, and I think we just had a couple of emails, and I had like this amazing vibe from you guys, like very like open, very warm. And so yeah, that was very memorable for me. These things these are the things that just stay with me. Also in personal contact, these small gestures. I don't care if I get a gift from that costs $10,000, and if it doesn't have any like personal value, then it's like, okay, I appreciate it. But if somebody comes to me with, let's say, a handmade painting, like I have a couple of paintings in my house that are very personal, made by my friends, or that we made together with friends, or some kind of psychedelic trip, for example. So I'm a
Wow,
person who values
that's
these
cool.
types of personal gifts, personal connections. And you guys made a very good impression on me.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I was very happy with when you guys said that you wanted to release, because I felt this very personal bond with you guys. So yeah, that's the story.
Thanks for your good vibes, my friend. Like in Cosmo, we always try to work as a family a little bit, right? Mezcal, like a big family of like worldwide artists, and it's always cool to like develop this type of friendships like that come out of these small things like an email and very
And
easy.
quality is better than quantity. It's the same thing you said, Philip. Like we don't want to release like a free release EP by months. We can't. We prefer to release less and took time to really develop the EP properly.
Exactly, and also I love it that you guys are releasing with producers that I have never heard before. So I know, okay, I can discover again somebody whose music I didn't know. And that's what you said also with my EP. It's like very much not in line with the regular stuff that's been coming out, and I really love that, to just be able to explore, and because it inspires me so much also for my own productions. Like I told you before, like I don't want to limit myself with a certain genre, or something else. I just want to go with whatever flow there is, because even if I don't release something, I learn again. I find something new that will help me in another track. So that's why I think as an artist, it's important to let yourself be whoever you want to be. Don't look at what other people, or I mean, of course, look at what other people are doing and be inspired, etc. But don't limit yourself because of that. Don't put yourself in a box. Oh, I need to do this or I need to do that, because then when you get an idea and it's not in line with what the box that you created, it could be a waste of maybe an amazing idea, and you never know what it leads to. So that's not only with music but with other things in life. Just having an open-minded view, whether it is, you know, let's say political discussions or whatever. Just listen to the other person, try to understand them, try to understand where they are coming from. Everybody has their own history. You know, we all have our own experiences, and I believe in the good of people. I believe that every human being in essence is a good person, and whenever people are acting in a bad way, it's oftentimes because of circumstances, because of their past. And I'm not trying to justify it. I just mean to say that I believe that these situations, people can learn from it. And when we respond to each other also in like a very open-minded way, and we don't judge each other, just like we don't judge our own work, our creative work. It's yeah, we need more unity in this world. We don't need more diversity. So yeah, that's maybe a sidestep from my creative process, but I guess this open-mindedness applies to everything in life. So yeah.
That's beautiful, my friend. It's that's basically like what the world has came to. Like we need to be united, and that's like a little bit the what we want to do with these Cosmotalks. Like apart from like talking with our artists, with our friends, like create a bit of community, like learning about people from another culture, artists from other continents. You know, we are all different in this way, but there's a lot of things that unite us. And I want to ask you, like in a few words, because we're running out of time. What about the new Corona reality? What's your approach to that, and what's your future
Mhm.
in music regarding everything?
Yes. Without getting too political and with trying to be short, I see this whole, let's say, crisis as a wake up call for humanity, both on an individual and on a collective level. And I see a lot of amazing things happening. Like people are starting to ask critical questions to the personal life, and you know, people have free time for the first time maybe in their lives. They spend time for weeks with families inside, and they have to like have real conversations instead of only being like at work, then coming home and going to social media or watching television, or when you have kids, having to, you know, take care of your kids, etc. So I see this as an amazing opportunity. I believe Earth has gotten the chance to heal also nature, but also we as humanity to look at also the things in our lives and ask ourselves, do I really need this? Is this really important? Or can we also live with maybe less producing, less consuming, you know, looking around what's happening on Earth? We are getting all these resources from our Earth, and do we really need to have the newest phone every year or the newest car or whatever? So yeah, that's what I see from this crisis happening. And I know that in the media, that's why I avoid also watching it, because there's so much fear in the media. And I personally don't think our leaders are doing a great job right now, because there's not a lot of focus on positivity, on like giving a hopeful message, you know, like, okay, you know, okay, we have a crisis, but we are coming out of this and we are getting stronger out of this than ever. And let's unite and let's create magic together. Whenever I look at something in the mainstream media, I only see like, yeah, and we have to implement more rules and this and that and that. So yeah, that's why I don't want to really pay attention to that, because obviously there are people dying, people are getting sick, but we have to also be real. viruses have existed always. There are viruses every year, and we have to ask ourselves critical questions like how much of our freedom do we want to give up for a virus? Like, okay, if like tens of millions of people were dying right now and like half of the world was getting sick, then I would not be saying these things. But we have to be realistic also, and also look at the things that we have been neglecting as a society. For example, taking good care of the elderly. We've been neglecting this, especially in the Netherlands. Like, not enough money has been going to medical care, and also what I believe should be way more stressed about, like, instead of curing diseases, focus on preventing diseases, focus on nutrition. Why are we not talking in this crisis about, hey, pay attention to what you're eating? Garbage in, garbage out. If you're eating shit, your body will be everything that you're eating is transforming in your body into what you're becoming. So why are we not paying attention to this? Pay attention to how is your mind state, to all the stress that you're experiencing, because now many people are experiencing so much stress through isolation. So that's why I would like to say to everyone, acknowledge the deaths, the illnesses, of course. It's important to acknowledge this. At the same time, where are you putting your attention in? How do you want the world to look like? How do you want to take responsibility into creating the better world? And yeah, I have a positive vision. I have a positive view for everyone. So yeah, I don't want to make it too long. So I hope this summarized a bit my thoughts about current situation and how I see the future.
Beautiful words, my friend. Like, yeah, I think we all share a little bit that view, and I want to add one little thing that there's a big lack of spirituality in the leaders of this world today. They all talk about numbers, they all talk about material facts, but if there's no spiritual view as well of the future of the humanity, like it's impossible that we can evolve, like because there's not, this, there's not just a material world to take care of. And right now that's the root of the problem. They just want to produce and consume. But what about the rest?
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I think it's important for everyone to ask critical questions to our leaders, because those leaders are there to to support us, to support humanity. And I think sometimes we give a bit too much of our responsibility away. Okay, let them take care of it. Okay, let them handle it. We should ask ourselves also, okay, is this the vision that we would like to see as a society, how we lead ourselves to the future? And exactly like you say, I think there's too much focus on spending, on consuming, on the economy. Why are we measuring the economy only on financial things? Why are we not measuring the economy based on the families that are happy together, the children that are playing outside, the friends that are meeting with each other? Why only the financial and economic stuff? Is that the most important thing there is in this world? So I completely agree with you. We need to balance out our, of course, economy is important. People need to be able to earn a livelihood, etc. But is it like really that important that all the attention goes there? So I'm about like let's ask ourselves questions. Like let's not invade each other's opinions. Like tell each other you need to do this, you need to believe that. No. Everyone can believe whatever they want to believe. Let's just ask each other questions to get to know each other better, but also to see, okay, how do we want to live together and how do we see the future together? So yeah.
A little bit of philosophical questioning is always good. Don Mezcal.
Yeah, in terms of the music scene, how do you see the future? Do you feel it's gonna, because it start to hurt some people in the industry, some DJ who are living from the gigs to pay the rent and festival, club owner. How do you see the future for us in this?
Yeah, so obviously for us there are very challenging times for the whole creative scene. from museums to theaters and the whole, of course, music scene. Also, here I see that we can use this period of time to also look at, okay, how was the music scene and where, in which direction was it going. For example, one thing that I think could be a very positive thing is that we can have a look at, okay, do we always have to invite DJs, producers, artists from the other side of the world to play at the festivals, or can we maybe also look at local talents, at the artists that are finding it very difficult to get out there? Because I'm extremely grateful and I find myself very blessed for all these opportunities that I've been getting in the last 3 years. I mean, there are so many talented artists out there who haven't been able to get these opportunities as me, and that doesn't mean that they are less valuable or their art is less good than mine. Not at all. So in these times, I think we as from let's say the head of the industries, they can like really think to themselves, okay, let's see closer to home what are the artists, what are the communities that we can support more. And from let's say the artists, smaller, bigger artists, I feel there's a lot of opportunity also for collaborations, whether it is productions together or create communities, come together, and to go more from this, let's say, rat race, competitive, individualistic
Scene.
point of view,
Yeah.
to more like, how can we collaborate? How can we join forces? And in that way, maybe connect it also with other scenes. For example, like I briefly told you, we started organizing parties here as well. We also like to invite live painters, for example, and see what other people we can involve. And creativity, it doesn't have any limit, and that's the beauty of it. When people tell me, "Oh yes, I'm not creative, that's why I don't have a hobby," then I just start asking them questions, and I always come to the point that people are, yes, you're right, with this thing in my life, whether it's cooking or maybe I like to, I don't know, write in my diary or write a blog. Everything is creativity. Don't limit ourselves, everybody can be creative. So I think also this period of time is giving us everyone the space to explore their creative, let's say, talents. So I think there are definitely challenges ahead of us, and at the same time, I see that I always see whenever there are challenges, there are always opportunities. So
That's beautiful,
Like,
my friend.
thank you for your positive message.
thank you guys for giving this space to share this, and for your amazing vibes also, because as I said, with your label, with you guys, I feel this amazing positive vibe. And I mean that also in an interview like this, it affects me always, because we speak in this forum for the first time, but because there's this like openness that's like, I feel I can speak about everything. You guys are giving me this opportunity, so thank you for that.
A pleasure to host you. A pleasure. And we're gonna finish with the last question about your next projects of yours. What are you working on?
Musically speaking. Yeah.
All right, so I have actually quite a lot of projects, but let me say it like this: at the end of this month, there are 2 tracks for 2 different labels for VA that I've been asked to produce. So these will be, I think, the first ones that will come to light.
Can you say the name of the labels?
Yes, so one label is Baikal Nomads. It's a down-tempo label. You guys know it.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, we did the premiere also on the label. And the other one is a label from the UK. It's more up-tempo. It's called Everything Will Be Okay. It's a new label. They've been doing podcasts. I've done also a guest mix for them last year. And I think this will be actually the start of them as a label for releasing music. So,
Cool. Nice.
Very nice, my friend. Hey, so we're finishing now. It's been a beautiful conversation, my friend. We could have stay for hours talking about like spirituality, politics, music, everything, right? And
For sure.
so nice to connect. And man, welcome to the family of Cosmovision. And we hope to keep
Thank
hearing from you and have you here in Montreal one day. You know.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. It was a pleasure. It's been an amazing opportunity to release, and once again, thank you for that. And looking forward, of course, we will stay in touch. And whenever I will come to Montreal, for sure, we will meet. And
You can
yeah,
say
looking
hi.
forward to. Yes, for sure, for sure. And whenever you guys come to Rotterdam, obviously, you're a very welcome guest here.
Super.
Thank you,
Okay, well,
Bob.
friends. Don Mezcal.
It was a pleasure to meet to talk with you. Thank you for all the people who listen to this interview on Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, everywhere. It's a pleasure. See you next week for another Cosmotalks, I guess.
Of course. And stay tuned for the new releases. Check out Deep Filip release. It's in SoundCloud, Bandcamp. It's everywhere, Spotify, so you can always like listen to it in your favorite platform. And keep checking out Cosmovision Records. And we always have beautiful surprises for everyone. Woo!